David Hume's Dialogues Concerning Natural Religion. Cleanthes, Philo, and Demea convene for a discussion on the existence and nature of God. Cleanthes is a theist who defends the argument with design, in which he suggests order and complexity seen in the natural world imply an intelligent designer. Philo is more skeptical and mostly critical of the arguments for the existence of God. He highlights the limitation of human knowledge and dangers of drawing conclusions of the divine. Demea is a devout and orthodox believer in God. He holds a religious perspective but emphasizes the mysterious nature of God. Demea asserts human intellect as insufficient to grasp the true profound nature of the Creator, yet acknowledges God's existence with faith. The following are key points that arise in the conversation. A life of constant skepticism is a detriment to the human mind. Skepticism should be extended only as far as necessity demands. A constant questioning of the will of God and eternity will lead to no avail. The skeptic will attempt to explain the works of the divine with failure. He will assume God does not exist because he cannot explain or understand the detailed history of eternity before the earth and eternity after the end. Our attempts to describe God are futile. When we anthropomorphize God into a human figure, this is our most corrected imagery. We may use the term spirit, but God is the source of all spirits, therefore above even the nature of a spirit. If we believe we can remotely explain God with use of human terms, we are already assuming the human mind is equal to that of God's. The skeptic assumes human thought is equal to all else. Can we know a higher form from its lesser parts? Can we infer anything substantial about a man's life from watching a single strand of his hair grow? Should we assume that the human mind is anything at all special in the universe? Perhaps minds are so common as to exist on other planets where creatures have their own forms of logic, held in equally high regard as we hold our own. Perhaps the human mind is nothing special at all in the scene of all creation. Man has only found knowledge in the figures of other men. He attributes human forms and explanations as to why we are in the form we are. Vegetation is used as a metaphor, where trees producing trees with seeds are like worlds growing into new worlds. Stars to stars across the universe, or like animal generation reproduction. But this still gives no data with any probable conjecture to determine anything. Could our best hope be only an analogy of the world? How could a reproductive Earth and planets be produced without a design? Is order inextricably linked to thought? Can natural matter itself possess the quality of order without design? Why does the motion of matter need to have a cause? Could we not say it was always agitated? Is it even possible to build a representative theory of cosmology without imperfect analogies of nature? The skeptic wins in the end with this reasoning because we cannot establish a truth to our observations. Demea argues that whatever exists must have a cause, or the universe is infinite with infinite causes going back for all eternity. Philo asks if the whole of eternity will require a cause. Can there be no succession at all? What was it that determined something to exist rather than nothing? If nothing exists, then it produces nothing. Consequently, we can only infer that there was an original being, thus a deity. However, why must there be a necessity for a being of existence? Could this being exist as much as not existing? Could the being necessary for existence be the universe itself? None of these assumptions fill necessity. If there are some transcendental qualities that separate a deity from matter, we could never know it above the matter in which we exist. The argument a priori has never found itself convincing to those outside the already religious. All the good in life will not make happy men, but all the evils of the world will make wretched men. Why does misery exist if we have a being powerful enough to establish creation? Is happiness the natural state of things, or is it misery? Pain and misery in men is compatible with a divine being, but what is the point of using this as a logical method? The more we attempt to define the divine, the more we realize we are defining our own perspective with the references we have to our disposal. Our attempts to characterize the universe lead only to a more skewed version of reality, anthropomorphism. This seems to be the only point that Demea, Cleanthes, and Philo can agree on in the end, that we all project ourselves onto God. Beyond this, no agreement could be reached between the three thinkers, and they convened their discussion for a later time. Hume ends the dialogue with an assertion that no conclusion can be drawn from the entirety of the conversation besides the folly of humanity's attempts to describe the nature of God.